We're into week 6 and a heavyweight matchup this evening on CP Badlands between two of the best teams in ESEA Invite, the Madmen and eLevate. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening on Team Fortress TV. I'm Gecks and I am joined by Marxist as well as Dashner on production this evening. And I know it's been a while, Marxist, but how you doing?
I'm pretty solid, trying not to freeze to death, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, it is mighty cold out there, man. I'll tell you, walking to class every morning, it is just, it's a killer all around, but we're making it through. We're nice and warm inside here, ready to watch this awesome ESEA Invite matchup where they had an incredible game earlier this season on Snakewater. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes here, but kind of just getting right into things here. I mean, we've got two awesome rosters here, Madmen and eLevate, both of them top 4 teams right now in Invite. And Marxist, why don't you go ahead here? Let's get into some roster rundowns to start things off here. Why don't you go ahead and run down Madmen for me?
All right, so you got the Madmen. If you watched last night, which it's on YouTube, if you didn't, it was a good match. So you see the same guys again tonight. You'll be having Simu and You Must Mike on Scout, Harblue on Roamer, Blank on Pocket, the Big Endust on Medic, and lastly, my boy Pharaoh on the Demo Man.
Very, very solid lineup right there. We've seen them doing great so far this season. They're actually sitting in second place so far here throughout this ESEA Invite season, and kind of taking a look on over towards the eLevate side here. We'll kind of jump into those guys and take a look at what they're working with. They got KBK on Medic, of course, Mela over there on Soldier, Badonsky on Demo, Shrugger and Decimate as the scout duo for eLevate, and of course Alpha on Soldier as well. Alpha and Mela kind of switching back and forth between their roles throughout the season, so not sure exactly who they're going to have on Pocket and Roamer tonight, but I'm sure we'll find out in good time. But that's kind of our two roster rundowns here, what we're looking at for this evening, two all-star rosters that we've got, so I think it's going to be a good one, Marxist, and kind of taking a look as well at some class matchups here, because we've got two excellent demo men on both sides, of course, Pharaoh and Badonsky. Why don't you go ahead and give me a little bit about these guys here, Marxist?
Yeah, when we were talking about who we were going to deal with for this match, I said, you know what, I'm going to make the executive call and say this is probably going to come down to the demos. When you look at the stats, you don't really see too much separation. The funniest part is that their KD is actually exactly the same. And Pharaoh getting killed a little bit more, getting a few less kills than Badonsky overall. But the big reason that this is going to be a huge thing for tonight's match is last night Pharaoh ended up getting in some trouble a few times, and Badonsky is probably now, it's pretty safe to say, either the best or easily second best demo in Invite. So that's going to put up a lot of challenge for Pharaoh to match his contributions on the Madmen side. And I think I would put a little bit of a little thing over the top of it where I'm going to say that it's probably going to come down to whose demo is most effective to separate these two teams and pick us a winner.
Well, there you have it. I mean, that's as you said, two very strong demo men on both sides here. It's going to be very interesting to see how these guys are going to face off, come up big for their teams this evening. And I think we have a couple more minutes here, so I guess we might as well go ahead and take a look at Alpha versus Harblue as well, because these guys are huge presences for their team. And two excellent soldiers. So, you know, why don't you give me a little bit on these guys too, Marxist? Because, I mean, I'm definitely going to be looking at these guys this evening as well to make some big plays.
Yeah, and that Snakewater game that you and I cast last time.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty solid. Was an episode of Spy vs. Spy, the old comic, where Harblue and Alpha had the running competition as to who could get the most kills on Spy pretty much throughout the whole match. We'll see if maybe they recapture that here at some point. We did see Harblue go Spy once last night. To no effect, he got hit by a spam rocket and had to turn around, with LOLs being typed by all. But we'll see. Both teams rely on their roamers to initiate fights a lot. And that, other than the demo play, that's going to be the other big thing here for tonight's matches. If Alpha can do some shenanigans and Harblue can do some Harblue things, it'll be great.
Yeah, Hardblue always ends up being a nuisance of some sort on just about any map. The guy has some pretty crazy jumps all over the place. Really becomes a nuisance for both teams. So I think this is going to be it's going to be a great one between both of these guys here. And kind of taking a look at what you guys were saying on the straw poll over there on TF2, it looks like people are heavily favoring Madmen in this one, about 70 to 30%, 70 being in favor of the Madmen there. So you guys seem to be heavily going on their side there. So, you know, with that being said, Marxist, what are you thinking for this one?
Yeah, I think part of the reason that number is so skewed is Mad Men's win last night. That's not to take away from Mad Men at all. It's just, I think it's a little bit skewed in that way. I think we're going to see a pretty tight match here. I do think that Mad Men have kind of got their stuff together, particularly after last night. They were a 5-4 game will stress your team so much because you're put into so many different situations throughout the 9 different rounds that were played that they should have pretty much all of their situational plays down on the Mad Men. So I'd give them an edge just for that. But the other big thing here is since we got some time to kills, we got Pharaoh dropping due to Steam ticket problems. Is the repercussions that a win here for Mad Men would have or a loss? Because that would make things even more interesting, Gecks.
Oh yes, that would just be lovely. I'll tell you. No, but seriously though, this is gonna be one of the matches of the season here, I believe. Between both these guys. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to fix a couple of problems with my game as we're kind of getting into things since we have some time, but regardless, we're going to have a good one. And kind of touching on that last match that these guys played in earlier in the season, it was actually the first match of the season for, I know, the Madmen. I believe eLevate played one earlier that week, not positive, but it was one of the first matches of the season in the first week. Of course, many of you guys have probably seen it, but that one on Snakewater that we were just touching on a little while ago, and the spy plays were huge. They were unreal on that map, as we were saying, between Alpha and Hardblue, and we'll see if they kind of decide to break out the same sort of strategies on this map. Will the saga continue? Kind of to be decided so far here, but there's definitely a big game on the line for eLevate. They would love to strike back after that week 1 match because I'm sure that they were quite disappointed in themselves after that first one. I mean, it ended up being just a fantastic game all around, but I think we're going to see something of similar value here this evening, Marxist.
Yeah, and I'll talk a little bit about where we are in the standings in case you're not a ESEA hawk for the standings. Well, right now you have the Mad Men at 8-2, which puts them in second, and all the other teams that are really competing with them right now either have 6 wins and some variety of losses, or are 7-3. The 7-3 category applies to the Street Hoops and eLevate. And if Mad Men lose here, that's gonna put us in a situation where we've got another tie for second, which would be between Mad Men and eLevate. If Mad Men win, this actually gives them a little bit of a cushion going forward into the season, which I'm sure they would really like to have because you do want to get that second seed if at all possible. Just for the way land goes down. Yeah, number 2 seed plays 3 seed, but you'll have a pretty good idea of who that 3rd seed will be going into LAN, and it sets you up to go in at least a little bit more easily into the playoff bracket there. So it's something that you do want to fight for if at all possible.
Yeah, of course, and I mean we're talking about a very close. It's going to be a very close LAN race with that as well. You know, it's things have been very tight this season, of course, with the exception of with 4G. I mean, of course, Tech is just out of this world. But I mean, besides that, it's already been a great season. We still have a couple of weeks left, and I think we're going to be having some great matches coming through, and this is going to be one of them. And I'm not sure. I'm just rejoining the server right now, and I'm not sure if we've. I think we're just about to be getting started here soon, guys. So hold on to your hats here, because we are going to be going live very shortly here. But I mean, you know, who's your guy of the match here to watch, Marxist? I mean, this is a pretty big one between these two guys. I know I'm kind of reiterating myself a bit here, but, you know, who are you guys to kind of keep an eye on throughout this one?
Well, I'll say I'll give 2 players per. We already sort of talked about Badonsky, Pharaoh, Alpha, and Harblue. If you wanted to look at anybody else, I would stick with the pockets, which we talked about last night. If you're a guy in STV and you want to get a feel for how these teams play, you could probably just rely on Mela and Blank to sort of carry you through via perspective. I should also point out that after watching last night, Ninja Nick is apparently not casting, but he's putting his VODs on YouTube. So that's really cool of him. Those are always really fun to watch. So if you're a medicals man type, those would probably be something you want to check out. So give a little plug to Ninja Nick's YouTube while we're on here with some people watching.
Yeah, that is really great, though, because, I mean, I know when I was first starting out in the game, too, I looked to guys to kind of, you know, help me kind of learn, the guys that uploaded all those VODs and stuff. So, you know, that's definitely something great to check out for this one. And also shout out to Madman for coming into our casting mumble this evening. So we're going to have some great mumble comms to share with you guys throughout this one. We'll get kind of a nice inside look at them, whether good or bad. We'll get to hear what they have to say from throughout the match. So that'll be a nice little addition that we have here. But we also we're still looking at 6 guys aside here. Not quite starting up yet, but hopefully we'll get these ready ups on through, and we'll be able to bring you this match here shortly. But Marxist, I mean, any other closing words here? I'm still trying to. If it sounds like I'm kind of all over the place here, I'm still trying to get my game situated a bit. I'm having a couple of issues, but we'll work on through them. And you know, any other words here you have for us, Marxist, before we get this one started? Because I would assume that we're going to be going here in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, according to our spies in the server, we are live in 2 minutes. So. Oh. You can start posting your Franker Z's and all that nonsense for about the next 2 minutes, because at the end of these next 120 seconds or so, we're going to have live, hot, sticky TF2.
Nothing better than that. I'll tell you, nothing better. Well, maybe a couple things, but that's one of the best. Some hot, sticky TF2. We're going to be in for a good one tonight, guys. So we're going to be, as he said, getting started here within the next minute or so. But who's going to be, who are you looking to make the plays here on this first mid? Because, you know, the tempo is going to be set pretty early. Both of these teams want to come out and make the statements on this first mid here. And who do you think is going to have the biggest presence between these two guys? Because you got a lot of options on both sides, of course. But who's your standout guy for this first mid?
Well, if I wanted to just see what was happening, I'd probably look at Blank. But as far as, like, the big moves, it's probably going to come down to a scout at mid. I'm hedging my bets there because that's usually how things are done. But we'll see. I'd say maybe we'll get a little love for the Decimate in there. I wanted to talk about the scouts, too, as an alternative. But we are going to be going to the color picking stage for our European friends.
Yes, we are there, and we're going to be going live here in just a second, guys. We got Madmen and eLevate facing off this evening on CP Badlands in our Week 6 matchup here. This is a big game for both teams, of course. eLevate coming out on the short end of the last encounter that these guys had against each other on Snakewater in a very close game in a golden cap overtime. Badman ended up squeaking it out. We'll see if they can do it again here as we take a look at mid. Pharaoh takes a stick very early over on balcony there, but manages to keep himself alive. And Harblue's already inside of the house of eLevate, but eLevate getting up over onto the Madmen side here, and Hardblue starts it off by getting Podonsky, which is a huge pick for them, and now eLevate going back across the point here. Hardblue tries bombing in, but Decimate denies him with the scatter gun, and here comes Alpha flying through, but ends up going down to a rocket from Blank, and now Shrugger is behind them inside of house, but Blank will pick up on him with the shotgun kill. KBK does get out. Indus stays alive just barely with only 30 health, and now eLevate moving back through onto mid right here. They know they're a bit weak. Actually, they're all the way behind them, and Madmen getting the cap here on to second. They're coming through, and KBK and Mela are both at the forward spawn right now. I'm not sure if they're going to take the spawn routes on back here, but they are just completely behind them right now. They're coming through, and KBK gets dropped by a rocket from Hardblue, and that is huge for them right here. KBK's down, Indus is hurt, but he is going to have that full Uber, which actually, excuse me, got popped off. I was looking into lobby, but they're going to try and keep the pressure on the point. eLevate only has 2 players up. Alpha goes down. It's just Badonsky, but it is not going to happen. And Madmen coming out with a great first round there. They're going to take a lead 1-0 early.
Yeah, when you do a right-sided mid on Badlands, you cannot run away to the other team's second when you lose, or you'll just throw away the round. I don't know if they forgot that they were on the wrong side, or they thought maybe they were going to get the bailout at some point, but that really cost them.
That cost them big time, as now Madman has that 1-round lead. Hardblue tried to get into house once again, but goes down to the sticks of Badonsky, so now they're down 1 player, Madman is, but they're still staying into this mid here. Seymour actually was lit up heavily, and he's going to have to get out, and You Must Mike is going to go down as well, so Madman might have to look at backing out here. They've only gotten eLevate in the process so far in this mid, and eLevate keeping the pressure on. Pharaoh goes down, Indust may just get caught out here. Seymour's trying to delay for him, and Indust will get out, and Seymour is going to go down in the process, but at least they kept Indust alive there, Marxist.
Yeah, it was a good play from Seymour to give his life to get Indust out of that situation. So, all in all, not all is lost for Madmen, but it's feeling like a game here, Gecks, because we're swinging around. We're going to lose Hardblue, though, out on bats, and that's probably going to bring the heat.
Yeah, it looks like eLevate's getting ready to push in right now. They're sitting down in lower main, getting ready for the push to come through. Now they've actually moved to upper, so it looks like they're going to pop through, which they do. Madman still hasn't popped, actually just popping it off now, but a lot of players from eLevate very hurt right now, and they know it, and they've backed themselves off. They lost 2 in the process as well, and yet losing another one. They're down 3, just getting Decimate as a spawn as well. Alpha's going to go down in just a second here, I would believe it. He's underneath the bridge. He's managing to get away with the equalizer. Somehow got out of there. And that will be 3 players down for Madmen, and Indust was one of them, which is a big pick for them, and now that is going to leave KBK with a pretty decent Uber advantage here, about 40% or so, as they're going to get ready to push into last once they get their spawns.
Yep, that would be the Indust death there is what you would call a great tragedy. So you basically put yourself in a situation where eLevate can take all the time they want. You Must Mike is actually running around doing the things. And he's going to get Seymour, actually. He's going to get KBK on the backside.
Oh, man, that was a massive pick. That's exactly what he needed. The guy walked straight up from steps, but they got a guy on the point. Nobody there to contest it. And they do manage to win that round in the end. You'd think that pick on KBK would have been big, but they still managed to just go straight on through. Some other frags came out, and they pick up the round. We're all tied up 1-1.
Yeah, they went for their run forward and shoot things strat, Gecks, and it ended up not turning out so great.
Yep, that's not quite. Hardblue, of course, doing Hardblue things. He's all the way behind him, and Choke tried to get Mela, but Mela was able to get him, and Blanco's down as well, so right away, Madman not looking good at all on this mid as Decimate picks up 2 frags here, as he got Seymour as well, and Mela's going to get a second one. Decimate getting yet a 3rd frag there onto Pharaoh, and Madman got destroyed on that mid, and Indus is trying to get his way out. He is going to get out just in time here. They've got eLevate guys chasing him the whole way back, but eLevate getting the mid here, and they're going to have a pretty big advantage as well.
Yeah, if anything, we should see them push in right now. We'll see if they pause for anything. It looks like they're not putting the brakes on just yet, but they are going to rotate up. That may cost them because Pharaoh is running the donk gun, and they also have Simu on Pyro, and so pushing upper like teams like to do may be hard. It looks like they might try lower. Well, they lost their advantage anyways. Gecks, too much dilly dally.
Yep, lots of dilly-dallying there from eLevate, and now they're going to have to try and rethink things here, but they got a guy right onto the point, and nobody there to even watch it. Shrugger just comes right out, I'm guessing of lower left there, or lower right, depending on what side you're looking at it, but he just walked right on the point, no Ubers exchanged, nothing. Gets the cap, it's 2-1.
Yeah, we're going to file that under the category of embarrassing.
Yeah, that, I think that happened to my team tonight, and I facepalmed for a while afterwards, so... But anyway, back into this mid here. Hardblue, once again, doing his thing as he's all the way behind Mela, and I guess Mela just doesn't care, but he's gonna go right on to Indus here. Gets one rocket. What a surf from Indus! Takes another air shot, but manages to stay alive, and here comes Madmen. They still get lots of frags out onto them. Indus still alive. That was an incredible play, and now they get the mid cap. KBK actually died on the mid. They wiped, and that will be a full advantage for Indust here to move on through, and that was just fantastic stuff for Madmen.
Yeah, that last little play there can wake a team up where you just walk on your last, because the level of mad in Mad Men will rise at that sort of occasion. So we'll see. They ought to be going pretty soon as they get Pharaoh and everybody in here. It looks like they are ready to go.
And they're going to go ahead and pop that on through in the upper right side here, as there is a sentry up over here on the left. They have a Pyro as well, doing a fantastic job of denying Madmen so far in this push, but they still manage to get the sentry and Mela as well. So they're getting the time onto the point. Nobody there to capitalize on it, and that will be a round right back over to Madmen. It's going to be all tied up at 2-2 here, Marxist, and I think we're going to go ahead and get into some team comms here for this one. What do you say?
Right.
Left, and then I'll drop for Cap. Bro, you should get to on me. Going now.
Yep.
Go now.
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Going main.
Use.
They're clear.
We used in top left.
I have a gun.
They're on the ground.
Kill shit,
Yeah.
kill point,
That's
kill
on
point.
ground.
Oh my god, that gun did not.
Well, it looks like we are a little bit off on our delays here. Sorry about that, folks. But anyway, looking into this mid, as we're kind of trying to get back into this. Excuse me, and we oh goodness me! It looks like we have the pops here off in mid. eLevate is going to go ahead and use their Uber, and Indus still has not gotten up onto his yet. And here it comes, Mela! Another fantastic surf from Indus. This guy, the surf is up, man. The waves are looking crispy today, and Madmen is going to come back in here. They're going to have a great advantage moving back into mid.
Yeah, it honestly surprises me, given Indus' reputation, that Mela is still willing to shoot him in the feet and let him do those sorts of things to him. We're going to see Hardblue actually bomb onto the point there and learn about jumping at scouts. But KBK is going to get taken away by Seymour. Big point here is the Uber has not been popped yet. There it goes. So Indus finally forced meat chunks rain from the sky, brought to you by way of the Madman.
Somebody got rocked up there by Hardblue. I'm not sure exactly who that was, but that message was definitely sponsored by Madmen there, as they are getting in onto second right now. Still 3 players down, eLevate is, and Indus yet is still going to have about a 30% advantage here. Looks like Shrugger wants to get another sentry gun up on last here, and of course they're going to have Mela up on the Pyro Man as well. Hardblue goes down for Madmen, and they're just going to hold inside of upper lobby here for the time being. They're going to wait for this Uber. They have fantastic advantage, Marxist, and this should be a good push for them, hopefully.
Yeah, Hardblue did that thing. I talked about it last night, actually. Well, never mind. The Uber is coming in. We'll see how the 7th player does. So far, he's still alive. It kills Blank. And but Decimate going to go down to Seymour. We have a Scout v Pyro fight on the lower side. Pharaoh going to go out too. Soldiers on the point, going to back them up and let Indus get out of here. Maybe, possibly. It looks like he will make his great escape.
He got out. KBK gets a little arrow kill onto Seymour as well, but Indus did get out, but now eLevate has great advantage here. They're pushing back out onto second, as Shrugger is on the point, getting that cap time down, and the rest of eLevate is going to push up towards Choke, and not surprising anymore this season, as we've seen it many a times. Mela takes Pyro out of last, and he's going to, be towards Choke with it. And Hardblue sitting inside a house right now. They do pop that Uber in through house, and they'll take down Hardblue in the process as they continue to push across mid here. Alpha jumps over, gets a lot of rockets into Blank. Is he going to go down? No, he picks up the health pack, but he's getting blasted up into the air here. Alpha still trying to work onto him. Mela goes down to a rocket from Blank, and Alpha will take care of him as they trade off. But eLevate getting a lot of frags here. Hardblue and You Must Micah, the only 2 left up, as Decimate and Badonski are up as well. Hardblue actually just got the spawn, and Decimate and Bodonsky survive there, and they're going to get into second here and grab this point, but Harblue's going to have something to say about it. Knocks Bodonsky off the point, and he's sitting over there on Spire. I would expect Harblu to go down here shortly. He's making ring around the rosy with the equalizer and manages to get Bodonsky, eventually going down to Decimate, but nice little play there from Harblu, doing those Harblu types things, and they do get that second point. eLevate does, or yes, they do actually, excuse me. Blank jumps back onto the point to deny Mela, and he will try and get some cap time down here. He's very hurt, though. We have a great fight going out on second. Shrugger goes down, and Decimate will get Pharaoh. Madman picking up on a couple extra frags here. It's a 3-on-2 fight. Bodonsky and KVK are the two left alive for eLevate at the moment. Indust had gone down in the middle of that fight here, so KBK is going to have some significant Uber advantage onto this one here, but the fight continues. Madmen pushing right into mid here and forcing out eLevate, and Mela's gonna have a little peek back into mid as well here, Marxist, and this is just the never-ending fight here between these guys.
Yeah, that was a great play from Madman. One of the things you can do in these sorts of spawn wave situations is just get a call to go hard, because as soon as Bodonsky went down, you could push. Harblue's going to go down on mid, trying to keep momentum going and delay KBK. Mela's going to go down to blank as well, but that Uber is still a factor. Madmen are basically just trying to buy time. KBK up by himself, but Pharaoh is going to get taken away by Decimate, put into the sad zone. Seymour going to go down too. Maybe the Madmen have bought enough time. Inda surfs up to the railing and escapes.
This guy is, he needs to join the pro surfing tour. I mean, look at him. They pop back into them down into lower lobby. KBK is still up at the moment, but right now they've pushed them back out of lobby. Couple players down for eLevate. They're going to have to get themselves out, as now Madmen's going to have an opportunity. But here comes Mela. Inda surfs once again all the way around. This guy is an animal, and look at him. He keeps himself alive. eLevate 2 players down right now. They clean up on Alpha, who bombed in. And that is just fantastic, but Harblu getting rocked as he tried to come back in. I'm guessing there was a stick trap there, and Decimate cleaned up on the damage, but here we go, kind of equalizing back out here. Uber's going to be relatively even for the most part here, as we're kind of at this stalemate period, waiting for the picks to come through as well as the Ubers. Oh
KBK
my!
goes down to the dunk!
Wow.
Gecks!
That is incredible, man, the donk. You know, as a medic, I absolutely hate that gun. And here comes the pushback in, though. Regardless, eLevate is just going to destroy them out here on this second point, though. Never mind, it's a 2-on-2 fight here over towards Spire, though. Yuma's Mike does go down, and it's just Harblu, but a jump against 2 scouts on the Spire is, you're not going to have a good time if you try it, so he's kind of sitting down there for now. Will he try and stop the cap? He's shooting rockets up there. He's waiting. He sees Decimate up there, jumps up a bit. They do manage to get the cap, and Harblu's still down there getting a lot of rockets into Decimate, but I think he's going to go down here in a second. He's quite hurt on top. He manages to jump over the bats and keeps himself alive, so now eLevate working themselves back in here. Uber's just about even, as Madman has a little bit of an advantage, not anything for them to push out a last with, though, so now we see a gun coming up as well for Madman here, as you say, the 7th man.
Yeah, I don't know, Gecks. That dog kill on KBK pretty much made my whole life, so I'm just gonna watch and enjoy now. We got a little bit of pushing around. Shrugger actually gonna go down. Harblu only has 2 health, so not enough health to do a lot of silly, but we'll see. He's going in. That lower left area is the treasure trove of many a roamer, but he's gonna get caught out by Decimate, so we'll see. Pharaoh running the donk still. I know last night I had a little chat with him, and he said he was planning to switch back and forth, so we'll see how that goes throughout the game.
And it worked out very well for him there that time with the old donk, but can he continue with it? Let's see, they pop this Uber in the upper right side here. They take down the sentry very early. Bodonsky does, but the counter pop comes out from Madmen here, and they will aggress them into lobby. They certainly have a better Uber here, so the pressure still coming on to the point here. Alpha's in lower left, need to be careful of it, but Madmen definitely picking up on the frags here, as KBK and Decimate have both gone down for them, and they're going to have to get themselves out, make that Mela and Shrugger as well. So a lot of guys down. Alpha is still in at the moment. He's actually in trash. He does get Yuma's Mike, and he's still in there, but Blank will take care of him with a little rocket to remember. So that will be A nice defense there from Madmen on the last, and now they're going to have a pretty nice Uber advantage here, Marxist, about 40%.
Yeah. So, well, we should see this come in, but the eLevate team getting the idea to go a little hard here. I like this decision. Bombing over onto Gray Bridge is Mela, but he is going to go down. The eLevate team's getting good damage, even though they're one down, and they are now trying to aggress the right side. Madmen are there, however. The Uber's going to come out. You got the Med about as close as he's going to get, but I don't think they're going to get him. Shrugger goes down on the flank as well to Simu. So we've got a push situation here for Madmen. They're going to try to come in as long as they can dodge the pipes.
And the Uber is just about to be up on eLevate, though, and they do pop it right back into mid to defend the point as they send Mela forward. They get lots of good rockets out. Many players from Madmen hurt. Indust actually getting the arrow kill onto Alpha there as well. But that's actually 2 players down for eLevate right now, and Mela's going to come flying through into the choke. Was able to get nobody, actually, but a couple players from Madmen going down. Indust and Blank among them, and there's only 3 players up on each side at the moment. Shrugger is still in, causing ruckus in towards the second point, but now it is going to be only 2 guys up, Hardblue and You Must Mike, who are very, very hurt at the moment. You Must Mike is still inside the house, having a battle with Decimate, and ends up getting him with the pistol, and that will be kind of evening things out for the most part, pretty much right back to where we started for the time being. But Hardblue wants a little bit here. He wants one onto Podonsky, unable to get him as he got him quite low. KBK getting another arrow kill. I believe he's gotten like 3 arrow kills within the past like 2 minutes or something, or at least 2 kills. But regardless, it's been a pretty crazy fight here so far, and eLevate is just going to keep the pressure up as they have 3 players down. Blank going down as well. Uber's relatively even between both of the teams, but eLevate keeping the pressure up in on towards this second point, and I believe they're going to be able to pick up on this cap here and start to work their way into lobby.
Yeah, we should see things equalize. Hardblue playing his usual aggressive Hardblue way, but not going to get anything there. We've seen some really good surfs from Indust before, even in pretty much every push we've gotten Indust surf around. But KBK, the crossbow kid, getting those frags, but we're watching this come in. We'll see if they get foiled again. This gun could be repaired. Oh, it's going to go down from Simu, and the Uber comes out, but again, KBK getting chased down. The hate is coming for him, and he's going to go down to Blank.
We need to be careful. Shrugger is down here in the lower left. He's having a fight with You Must Mike, but Blank was ready for it. Good team comms between both of them to call that out. So now it's Seymour and Badonsky going at it over on Gray Bridge as well. He actually falls to his death, so that will be room for Madmen to push back out here onto second, but eLevate is still keeping that pressure up. They've been doing this. Mela getting rocked a bit in the air and landing a beautiful shot onto Hardblue. Up in the air on that second point, able to get Seymour as well. And that's going to be 3 players down for Madmen. They're going to have to back off and kind of set their defense up at last. They do have a decent advantage here, about 40% or so, but they need the spawns to come through. And eLevate is going to try and capitalize off it, but they do get that Uber in time to keep them off of it, but they're still in at the moment. KBK does go down, and they didn't focus on the point at all. eLevate sneaking in to pick up on the cap, and that will be a 3-2 half here, Marxist, for eLevate.
Yeah, Madmen probably shouldn't have got caught the way they did there, because Badonsky was not alive out on 2, so ideally that should be a really difficult push for eLevate to make. And we had a really great exchange where Mela got air stickied like twice in rapid succession and then still got an air shot off and obliterated one of the meat men. So one of the meat clowns, rather. Yeah. So that was a great little exchange. But yeah, that probably shouldn't have gone down there. I'd say if you wanted to ask what sort of improvements I'd like to see, the biggest thing eLevate needs to do is stop shooting Indust in the feet. That would improve all of their pushes exponentially if they could just not do that anymore. And it is letting him survive situation after situation where he should be dead to rights.
I mean, the guy has surfed so many excellent rockets this game. I don't know if I've ever seen that many good surfs in one game before in my short career here in TF2. I mean, the guy has just been an animal so far in this one. So I definitely agree with that. It's time to do something else. Definitely not shoot the rockets at his feet, because it's not working. He just gets himself away every single time from the situations that he gets himself put into. So, you know, a decent half there from both teams. Just eLevate ending up squeaking out there, just not focusing the point. Madmen on that last one, when they popped that Uber off, kind of got snuck on through. And I believe, was it Madmen earlier too, where they had eLevate that just snuck in through the bottom left? Yeah, that's, you know, maybe keep an eye on the point, maybe just a little bit more. It seems like they're kind of worried about a lot of the frags on last, and these guys come through and they're just getting onto the point easy without any pressure. So I'm sure that's something to kind of keep an eye on as well for both of these teams. But certainly not over yet by any means. We still have an excellent game to come, and I believe this is a pretty similar scoreline to the half that we had in that first game over on Snakewater. But we are about to head into the second half here, Marxist, and who are you looking at for this first mid?
I'm probably gonna check out Blank, because he'll give us a good view of everything.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and jump into the mumble comms here for this first mid.
Over that. I'm not in right now. I'm not in. I'm getting resubbed. Right.
Well, we seem to be having a little bit of trouble with it again tonight. So last night we had the problem where we could only hear Harblue, and it appears to be happening again tonight. We're going to see Indust and KBK get traded out. Mela going to go down to Blank. So Blank did have his good solid mid here, and the Preds were strong. Harblue going to go get Badonsky in the flank. If you're a roamer who survives mid, you get to do whatever you want to, Gecks, and Harblue wanted to go on a fantastic voyage into the Diag area, and it turned out.
Yeah, the guy loves doing his thing, and as I remember you saying that a bit last night as well. Surviving mid, you get to do what you want, and he certainly has no problem doing that. Harblue does. So as we see the Madmen push here, getting ready to come on through into choke, Harblue does pick up a frag on to Decimate here, as still both teams waiting to get up on their Uber. It's about even here, and Alpha's taken quite a bit of damage, and he goes down, so this will leave room for Madmen to push on through there, as they have two picks, Decimate and Alpha, both down for them, and they're going to keep the pressure, but Blank does fall for Madmen here as well. So, Madmen just keeping that pressure up, though, and here it is, Harblue inside of lobby. He gets KBK, and that is going to be huge for Madmen here, as it's only Mela left up alive at this point, and Indus is going to have a full Uber advantage to work into last here with, and they're going to go ahead and move themselves on through right away. They pop off that Uber. They're going to go ahead, start to get on to the point. They have a lot of cap time down. Spawn's coming out, though, for eLevate at the moment. They have lots of time down and a lot of sticks onto the point. They need to take care of the demo man, and they step on it for just a second and get that cap, and that will be a 3-3 game right now.
Yeah, it was a vintage pure style chariot Uber to last. So that was nice there. Pharaoh had a pretty big play too to defend himself hype, so making his influence met, because that could have gone south really quick.
They managed to get the cap off though, and that is all that matters for Madmen right now, as they have got the big round to tie things up. But taking a look into this mid here, Shrugger's gone down already, as the players are scattered all throughout mid, and KBK getting yet another crossbow kill, which was on to Blank, and there's 3 players up aside right now going for the kill. Badonsky couldn't quite get that kill with his melee weapon, so now it's just going to be a 2-on-2 at the moment. KBK and Decimate both up at the moment. Indust had gone down during the middle of that fight, and they're going to try and give Decimate some heals here to try and be a nuisance into mid, but now backing off a bit just to make sure that they keep it. But looks like we're going to see eLevate here getting aggressive back into the mid here as they get their spawns back up. Madmen will be here as well, but eLevate's still waiting on 3 players to get on through here, as they are just keeping that pressure on up. They are up on their full Uber here, and they're going to go ahead and pop it off. Madmen should be able to kite this relatively well. They push themselves all the way back. Lots of spam coming through. Blank quite hurt, but he was able to get Alpha in the process here, so they managed to ward off that Uber, and looks like they're going to go ahead set back up as they have a 40% advantage.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a poor choice from KBK to pop there. I felt like it was an unnecessary pop, and now you've put yourself in a really bad bind where you had to get kills or you were gonna get leapfrogged, and they put on their bayonets and they went over the top bravely, but it didn't do anything for them. But do you see what I see, Gecks, relating to the Frenchman in the suit?
Oh, it's starting up. It is starting up. It took it till the second half this time, but let's see if he can do it. He's gotta keep the the plays real here, the spy plays. It wouldn't be an Elevate and Madmen game if we didn't see Spy come out at least once here. So we do see Alpha up, but You Must Mike was ready for it. He was able to seek him out and kill him. So it's going to be a player down, and they're going to have a big Uber advantage right here. Madmen does. So they're sitting in the upper lobby right now, waiting to push on through. Looks like they're going to take it through lower main, and they do pop it on through. Hardblue gets up there, gets a lot of damage out onto them on top of the point, and now they're just getting that cap time down, and they do manage to get the cap. And that will be another round over to Madmen here. It is going to be a 4-3 game, and I'm being told that mumble comms have been fixed here. So we're going to go ahead and hop into the Madmen mumble comms for this upcoming mid.
Easy money rollouts. Demos point.
Sloter's really weak.
I'm dead, get in.
Sloter's 47 getting an arrow opposite side.
Commit.
Sloter jumped.
I hit him. Demo got out with med. Yeah.
I'm up with Mike.
Harb is on their med.
Well, it seemed relatively quiet in there for that one.
Yeah, we may still have certain players not hooking up right with the bot. Because I have played with them on occasion. Usually there's a little bit more activity than that. But the big play was the med pick from Harblu. In the old world, he'd have gotten that kill because of the equalizer, but with the nerfed equalizer, KBK surfs away and embarrasses him, but Blank was there to back him up.
Well, there you have it. Looks like we've got that Madmen mid win once again, and Indust is going to have a 70% Uber advantage right now. So Elevate's still aggressive in towards the choke here. Sugar's gone down. I think it's for them to back themselves up, which they are doing at the moment. But Decimate is still in here trying to take on Seymour, but that is not going to happen, says him. You Must Mike actually cleaned him up. So, wow, Indust actually popped off that Uber. Excuse me, I managed to miss that one, but now KBK is going to have a 40% ad here or so, as Madmen playing very passively all the way back towards their choke pretty much here, not even up towards Spire. They only have Pharaoh, who's kind of just sitting on top of the point right now, watching his stickies. But did you see what happened on the force on Indus there, Marxist?
Yeah, Blank bailed out. He rocket jumped out because he was really hurt, and I don't think Indust anticipated that when he popped his Uber, because Elevate was on Grey Bridge just standing there, so that's a pretty good time to Uber. But we're actually going to see Elevate come out here kind of hard. Both teams just about have Uber, and the back cap started from Seymour, I think. But it has stopped. No, it's still going.
Oh,
it's Harbu on the point. So that will be GG. He was actually a spy. We were both kind of napping on that one, but the Harbu spy back cap will end it. But, Uber v. Uber push out. Never gonna end well, especially when you have Hardblue sneaky sneaks all over your point.
Yeah, there wasn't as much spy off classing that game as we saw in the last one, but it came up big for Madmen in the end there, as Hardblue did his thing and got onto the point and won the match for them. That is a 5-3 game there. Madmen once again coming out huge on that second half. If I remember correctly, they lost actually that game on Snakewater was like a 3-0 half, I think, for Elevate, and Madmen just came out huge in the second half, which they did this time once again, and took 3 straight rounds off of Elevate and end up winning that one. So they're perfect against Elevate this season, still holding that second spot in the ESEA invite standings, and they're definitely a force to be reckoned with here. But good game all around, huh, Marxist?
Yeah, this is a really solid game to watch, just to see how transition fights are supposed to happen.
Yeah, it was certainly something to learn a lot from both of these teams, and apologize for the mumble comms as well, guys. Just sometimes the bot's a little finicky in how it works, but we'll get all that sorted out for next time. But any closing comments here, Marxist, before we sign off for the evening?
I'm just pleased that the Donk has eliminated a medic from the game for a little bit. I'm still kind of in shock because I know I have this chair next to my chair that I sit in when I play games, and I know that chair would have been thrown into a wall or something at some point due to that Donk occurrence.
Oh yes, it's happened to me quite a few times in games, and I think there's not too much else that pisses me off more than when that happens. So I definitely feel you on that one. Dashner is saying something about some possible. No, we were going to have maybe an interview, but I don't think that's going to happen for the evening. We're just gonna kind of sign off here for the evening. So there you have it. Final score there. As Mad Men taking the matchup against eLevate once again, this time it ending in a 5-3 here on Badlands, still being quite the team here in ESEA Invite this season, sitting in second place, and they've just been just having an excellent season all around here in Invite between these top 4 teams and the rest of the league. So we're not done yet. Got lots more matches here. A few more weeks left in the season.
I can't believe you guys missed my spy play. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we missed you at the end, but we caught it at the end. I saw the time going down on the point, and then I saw the little kill feed, and I said that must be Seymour. But no, it was horrible.
I literally, the second the match ended, I loaded up this and watched you guys talk about it. I revolver Shrugger once, missed 5 shots, and then stabbed him twice. I don't know. I missed it. I'm salty about that.
Well, when they make the end of the season video, we'll include it.
Yeah. That's I wasn't expecting it, but that's the thing. I should have been expecting it because it's you doing your crazy stuff out there. But I mean, we were worried that the spy plays weren't going to be coming out. Oh, he left anyway, but whatever. Okay, I'm talking to myself.
Had to let us know. He just had to let us know.
Well, good talking to you, Harblue. Sorry. All right. Well, anyway, I guess that's a good note for us to kind of close out on for the evening. But anyway, you can go ahead. I'm not sure if Dashner caught the good Harblue cam there on that last, but no, he didn't. See, nobody saw it, Harblue. Nobody saw it.
That's just how good Harblue is at spy. Not only did eLevate completely miss it, but so did all 3 of us, and we have wall hacks. I think maybe we have lost Gecks, but so anyhow, for myself, Gecks, and Dashner, and all the rest of the TFTV crew and the other associated people who've made all the cool little graphics and stuff you're seeing, I bid you good evening.
Am I back? Oh,
I think you're back.
Signing up. My mumble wasn't responding. Okay. All right. Well, I think he was saying that we were wrapping it up. So good night, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you guys on the next cast for TFTV. Have a good night.